DJing.
And what's his handle?
It was Joe brackets DJ brackets Dragon Arts.
Love that.
There you go. He's got his new mixer. He's very happy.
I'm thinking of doing a bit of TikTok.
I think you should.
I think so.
I think it could be quite good fun. Bit
Yeah.
of TikTok.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know what I'd do on it, but
Can you
it
get
could be quite
sort of
good
like wide angle TikTok lenses?
Oh!
Wow. Wow.
Wow! Can you believe
Too
it?
early.
fun. So rude.
I've seen you eat mince pies recently.
About the pot calling the kettle black.
Wow, yeah.
Have you seen the size of your bottom?
Hey, listen.
Shaming on
There's just
Pure
more.
West Radio on a Thursday morning.
Just more of me to
Confess,
love.
Father Neil,
I've got lots to confess. In fact, I have got one thing I promised Tom that I would confess.
Oh, yes.
Which was about a fortnight ago. I was driving to the same meeting that you were going to in Carmarthen.
Oh, yes, I know. Yes,
And you phoned up Tom and you said, "Oh, please, can we have The Killers?
Yes,
It's my
Mr.
favourite
Brightside.
song,
Yeah.
Mr. Brightside." And I heard that, and as soon as it started to play the first notes, I then phoned you in the car, and you went, "You all right, love?" And I was sort of like, "Yeah, I just something's come up, and I've really got to talk about it." And I just sort of like padded it out, and then when I realised that the song was over, because I could see it change on DAB, I said, "Do you know what? Actually, I think it's probably best to wait to the meeting."
Wow.
So that you didn't get to hear your favourite song on the radio.
I love it.
Not
forgiven.
Not forgiven.
Not forgiven.
So funny.
On the naughty list.
Before we jump into confessions and play a little music, we just had the pub quiz.
We did.
Reverend Sophie, how'd you get on?
3 out of 5.
3 out of 5, Father Neil.
3 out of 5.
Abigail.
2.
Anna, because she's still with us.
5. Good morning.
Including the bonuses.
Google.
Excellent.
The Google
You'll be on the Christmas card list in a minute.
There was no good involved, as far as I was concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gina had 2. Helen had 3. I think Rob did quite well in the end, as did Louise and Mai. So well done. Thank you for taking part.
How could people not know about the Mary Lloyd?
Exactly.
I just couldn't remember.
I mean,
Name.
the fact that in Welsh tradition, a horse's skull turns up at your door, challenges you to a rap battle. If you lose, it will come inside and drink all of your beer.
Yeah.
And if you win, then you get.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is true.
And if you win, you get that sort of like good luck for the
Yeah.
rest of the year.
How old is this?
Wow,
tradition?
okay.
It's very old.
Is it
Middle Ages.
Yeah.
Middle Ages? Were they rapping in the Middle Ages?
Well, it was
A bard.
The bard would talk to you
Oh, I
in
see,
bardic
okay.
verse,
In
Yeah.
sort of
and you,
spoken word
whatever the
rhetoric.
pentameter that the bard chose,
Yeah.
you had to respond in the same pentameter. So.
Yeah.
Okay, I can do in West Philadelphia, born and raised.
On a playground is where I spent all of my days.
Chilling out, Max, relaxing, or calling or shooting. Sorry. I digress.
Well, it's better than some of the raps that are out there that are not suitable for
very good
just
point.
gone 8 o'clock in the
I
morning.
can do the whole of that.
But Father Neil is about to wax lyrical with our confession for this morning. Last week we did forgive,
We did.
Yeah,
We
I
did.
I can't
and
remember.
he's riding off into the sunset with his new girlfriend on his brand new
Oh,
motorbike.
Yes.
I remember. Yeah.
Taylor Swift tickets.
Yeah.
Are we going to be forgiving today?
These are my confessions. These are my confessions. These are my confessions.
Father Neil, the floor is yours.
Dear TNA and the Council of Alive and Kicking, today was the 3rd day in a row that I noticed a new neighbour of ours parking in the only disabled spot of the local shop that we visit.
Is it our
Her
mother?
husband went in with their daughter, and I saw the mother sitting in their Range Rover in the single handicap spot doing her makeup. As this was the 3rd occasion, I stood in front of the vehicle until she acknowledged me, then pointed at the sign which clearly indicated that it is the disabled spot. She opened up the door and said in a confident and authoritative, thick English accent, I'm 3 months pregnant, and then closed the door, and then continued to put on her makeup. Keep in mind that she wasn't driving. The previous 2 times I'd seen her, she'd been in the car by herself with her daughter, so she'd parked in the disabled spot and then taken the daughter into the shop. But this was her husband that was driving her. So I knocked on her window. She rolled down the window, and I told her that being pregnant doesn't qualify as being disabled. And she inexplicably said, thanks, 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 a few times. For those of you that might be wondering why I care, I know plenty of people that are disabled, including my parents and grandparents, and all of whom have blue badges. So, imagine if you're someone that struggled to get in and out of your vehicle, or even needs to get your own wheelchair out of the vehicle. Now imagine needing to go somewhere and all of the disabled spots are taken by people who have no right being in those spots just because they're pregnant.
Was that in capitals, Father Neil?
Yeah. That's why I was shouting. I see this all the time in the bigger supermarkets, but it hits a bit different when it's a neighbour of ours, it's a local shop, and there's only one spot. The next time I saw them, they were in the shop car park. They were not parking in the disabled spot and glared at me, and then they gestured to the disabled spot and gave me a rude gesture. I gave them a rude gesture back.
Oh!
Am I forgiven?
Am I forgiven for the rude gesture back? I love it.
That's kind of drama, isn't it?
That is a drama, and it's neighbours as well. So
worst.
they're gonna see them. They're gonna see each other regularly.
Yeah.
So, okay. So we've got 2 households. One household is law-abiding and respects the parking space because their family uses them legally with their blue badges. You have these other mavericks that are parking there thinking, I own this place and I'm going to park wherever I want because I'm pregnant.
And not only that, they're English and they've got a Range Rover.
Oh, the worst kind.
Who do they think they are?
These blooming English coming across.
Coming across.
So
She
funny.
says with her Wiltshire accent.
And so a confrontation took place, relatively polite. Thanks.
Thanks. Yes.
Thanks. And then the next time, they did not park there.
No.
So something...
They took the hint then, didn't they?
Something
They did take the
resonated,
hint.
something dropped.
Yes.
But it came to a head when they locked heads with gestures. And is this person forgiven for returning the gesture?
And I think this person was asking not just for returning the gesture, but for the whole...
For the whole altercation.
For the tapping on the window and for the being...
Okay.
I don't think they need forgiveness for telling someone when they're wrong. Actually, that's
highlighting it and saying,
highlighting it,
actually.
So we are saying... I'm not saying this, but the ladies in the studio... Tom and I aren't saying this. Definitely not saying this, okay? Tom and I are not getting involved. Tom and I aren't touching this with a 6-foot barge pole.
No.
But the ladies in the studio this morning are saying that there is no way that being pregnant in any way, shape or form means that you can park in the disabled bay.
I mean, no, absolutely not.
No.
I mean, there's a definite kind of bias on my front here because she is she sounds to me like the quintessentially stuck up your kind of English person who would be sat there putting their makeup on in a Range Rover, who quite frankly has got nothing better to do with their time and
Wow.
thinks that being pregnant is an excuse
Gives
for
them
not
divine right.
to do whatever they want. So sorry, just getting a little bit.
Yeah. I'm
which
staying
is
out of
exactly-
it.
Yeah, I'm here for it. This
Every-
is
One of the
great.
reasons why I love Wales.
Yeah. We've also got Anna with us. Anna, you stuck around from the quiz. This is your first time being part of the council this morning. What are your thoughts?
Well, I was Reverend Sophie on this. If you can do makeup and stuff, but yeah, and just the fact that it's English. Yeah, don't come across the bridge.
Oh my goodness me!
I should
We-
point out that I am English.
Yeah.
But but Reverend Sophie, you're like special, so we can forgive that.
Yes, Reverend Sophie's a special girl with special needs.
Girl.
Okay.
Special.
We're proud supporters of our tourist industry here in West Wales. Just want to point that out. But yeah, if ooh.
Now, see, the thing is that
Come on then, Abs. What's your contribution?
Yeah, come on then, Abs.
I mean, I'm all for the gestures. If they're giving one, fly one back. And I think that if she had the right to say, excuse me,
Yeah.
I mean, I do query this lady. Do you have more time on your, like, it's too much time on your hands to be so angry about it? But if you know disabled people, then that's really annoying and frustrating. So I think she had every right to raise this issue.
I think also, in all seriousness, there's a biblical principle here as well. So there's a biblical principle of telling the truth in love.
Yes.
So if you see someone doing something wrong, you should, by right, tell them that they've done something wrong. So she did the right thing.
Yeah.
However,
absolutely.
the wrong thing to have done was to have stuck her finger up, regardless of whether the other woman stuck her finger up. You see, what I do, and I love doing this, when someone gets antsy with me for whatever
Keep
reason,
it calm.
and they'll stick their finger up at me, I will flash my collar,
I think
and then
that's-
I'll give them a blessing.
Works really well.
Really well. Bless you, my son. Thank you for that finger. That was lovely. You are not going to heaven. Love you.
You deny heaven. You culminate them.
I don't deny heaven, no. That's not my job.
See, the thing is, in the big supermarkets, there are two types of reserved parking spaces, aren't there?
Yeah.
There's disabled and then there's mother and child.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
we recognise that there is...
Yeah.
And she has got a young child. And the first two times that she was seen in her local shop, this is not a supermarket, this is a smaller local shop, which only has one reserved space, and that's for disabled blue badges. The lady concerned didn't say anything because she parked the car, albeit in the wrong place, but she got out pregnant with her young daughter and she'd gone into the shop. She went across this third time because her husband parked the car. Husband took the child in and she was sat in the car doing her makeup. And so I think that there was a little bit of nuance there.
Yes.
That maybe the first two occasions she was not making an equivalence between pregnancy and disability, but she was saying, I recognise that you're a neighbour of mine, that you're 7 months pregnant or whatever. You can have the bad back and the weak bladder and all those sorts of things.
Yes.
And you've got a little child with you, so I'm going to cut you a break.
Yeah.
Maybe you should have thought about somebody else, but there are extenuating circumstances. But when she's just sat there in her Range Rover with her English accent, doing her makeup in English, not proper Welsh makeup, not in the colours of the Welsh flag, you know.
But
I can't believe that was a point.
I know.
Oh yeah.
I can't believe that was a point.
It was, and when it was conveyed to me, it was a really strong point.
Strong.
The person has probably got an English issue. Well, that's another thing. But
And this is relatively local in Pembrokeshire, so if you're listening, listeners, and you know somebody, a couple who only have one child,
Oh wow!
who's
But you're
7
not
months
sending them on
pregnant,
a hunt.
an English couple, 7 months pregnant, that drive a Range Rover, then this could be your neighbours or your friends. It might even be you. If so,
morning.
Might be
Reverend
you.
Sophie would like to offer you a blessing.
I am not. You see, I don't even take the fact that she's got a child as an excuse for parking in a disabled
I'm with you. I'm with you.
because the whole point of having a larger parking bay for people with babies is because it's really hard to get a car seat in and out.
Yes.
It's got nothing to do with the parents. It's to do with the accessibility of the
Yeah.
car seat. And so, I mean, I have the same issue. Whenever I go to Tesco's, they have very few parent-toddler parking bays in Tesco's and Haverford
That's
West,
true.
actually.
Yeah.
About 10, I think, in total. And every time I go in there, there's old people that have been part, so they have the same issue in the other direction.
Yeah.
So
It's the age-old battle, parking cars, and I'm glad that you've described those nuances, because of course not every disability is something that we can see.
This is
No.
true.
And
This is true.
I was worried that we were going to go down a rabbit hole about they shouldn't be there because I couldn't see anything. Well,
no.
actually,
That's
there's lots of
different.
hidden disabilities,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
there was actually communication between them, and they know each other. So I feel quite content with that. And similar to some fellow members of the council, I think that if you see someone that is erring on that grey side of the correct side of the line, then you can say, "Are you supposed to be parked here?" Like, because there's other people that might
Yeah.
benefit.
From
That might
this
benefit
more-
from
yeah,
that.
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
on that basis,
Yeah.
I'm going to put my name up straight away and say I forgive that action. However,
Yes.
Oh.
returning of the gesture, is it not said that an eye for an eye would make the whole word blind or something along those lines?
Oh, yeah, in the kingdom of the blind, the one-eyed man is king.
Well. What do you think? I think you need to give a blessing and say, don't worry, at least you're not parked there. Ride away on your trusty steed and say, I've done good today.
So you're half forgiving them.
I'm half forgiving.
We've
Yes.
given- we've
Which
given
half?
the
Top half or
initial-
bottom half? Or you're going left, right?
I'll go left to right.
You go left, right.
Yeah, I'll go
Okay.
left to right. Yeah, so yeah, I forgive the, should you be there,
Yeah.
the xenophobia, not forgiven.
Right. And they were...
Not.
And would you believe what they drove? I couldn't believe
So
it.
I'm going to throw up in my mouth now.
We're supporters of all of our friends and neighbours here on Pure West Radio, so we will love thy neighbour as thyself,
Absolutely.
and we will treat everyone with respect, kindness, and love. Even Jim's been in touch this morning to say, "Oh well, I hope I'm welcome. Everyone's welcome
Everyone's
here.
welcome.
Just
Absolutely.
don't park in the wrong place."
Yeah, but Abs is notoriously xenophobic.
This is true.
And
This is not true.
hates all foreigners of any form
I'm
of
actually married
persuasion.
to one. I'm married to an English foreigner.
An English
So,
foreigner.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Abigail, we
you
will-
haven't worked
So
hard
it's
enough
all
to
good.
naturalise him yet.
No, not yet.
No.
No.
I mean, we
He chose not to take your nationality when you got married. He chose not to identify him well.
Abigail, your views.
I think she's forgiven to be. The only thing I don't like is that she obviously has a pure hatred for English people, which I don't forgive that because I think that's wrong, to be honest. But yes, she shouldn't be doing gestures, and I agree with Sophie. She should rise above it. But she obviously felt quite strongly about it, so I'll forgive her for that. Yeah.
There you go, Reverend Sophie.
I forgive the initial action of telling someone the truth.
Yeah.
But I always say tell the truth in love. So, regardless of who they are or where they come from,
Yeah.
we definitely need to tell the truth, and we tell the truth in love. But the gesturing, that's just a little bit of a bridge too far. So we're forgiven for the first, not forgiven for the second.
Anna.
Yeah, I'm with Reverend Sophie on that because forgive in the first place, tell somebody in love, but then I always say be the better person because if you give the gesture back, you're rising to their level. So don't. So be the better person. So not forgiven for the second part.
I do get a sense of guilt though that they instinctively returned the gesture and like, I've let
Why did I
myself
do
down
that?
because
Yeah.
I was doing so well. I was.
Yeah.
I did go to
I
the
usually
action.
just laugh at people. If people do a gesture to me, I'm like, good one.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I do wonder whether that are they asking for forgiveness for the gesture, or they're asking for forgiveness for the initial act.
I think they were asking forgiveness for all the aspects of it.
Yeah.
And I have to say,
I think overall forgiven.
Yeah,
I think so. And they have reflected.
I didn't.
And they realise.
I didn't forgive at the time.
Did you not?
Really?
No.
Did not forgive.
No, I didn't forgive at the
Explain.
time.
Do you stand by it?
I took the line of point out the log in your own eye before you point out the flaws in other people's.
Okay, so take the splinter out of your own eye before you
Yeah.
log out your own.
And I said, you know, I understand that it's frustrating, but look what it sort of like devolved into, and they're your neighbours.
Yeah.
Love your neighbours as your friends. So I counselled that she should pop a Christmas card through the
I like
through,
that.
through,
I like
through-
that.
through
Yeah, I
the
like
door
that.
with a nice message, because I was sort of like, this is a relatively new thing with these people, and if you can cut it off at the pass and actually come to a situation where you can both laugh about it, I think that positive outcomes can come on both sides. Whereas I think if you just leave it as it is, and you think, oh, Father Neil has forgiven you, then I think you're going to be staring at each other over the lawnmowers.
It's kind of the green light to keep the
Well, you keep-
friction
yeah,
going,
that's
isn't
the
it?
feud.
Which is not right.
And I'm kind of feel that with this person, I was pushing on an open door because they were prepared to be more generous and this sort of stuff. So, I withheld.
I quite like that,
forgiveness.
Father
But-
Neil. You've
but-
given a good reason there, actually. Yeah.
but even we here in the council were half and half.
Yes.
And
It's nuanced, isn't
it
it?
is, and I'm glad that you've come up, because we always love a next action, because we did forgive some aspect but not the other aspect, and I was like, how are we going to repair this? And this is the perfect time of year to go
Yeah.
there and say, we've had our moment, but Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year together in fellowship.
Yes, that sort of thing.
Well, I think it's that act, isn't it, that makes for a better world. It's that act of saying, actually, maybe I took that a bit too far, or maybe I got a little bit more
Yeah.
irate than I should have.
But
done,
I
or
wouldn't
whatever.
be happy given the circumstances to have a dun dun dun. I think
No.
No.
Because I agree. I was going to say, I don't know what to play.
that's yes.
However,
Nuanced and morally
can you
confusing
both
because
together,
Abs is
kind of
here because
meld
she in
them
herself is nuanced and morally confusing. I mean, I thought I liked her, and then I found out that she's married to an Englishman.
I say.
I think
Neil, I'm married to an Englishman as well. Well,
Yeah, but
actually-
you're English.
Actually, he's from Plymouth, so I'm not sure what that makes him.
Well, yes.
I'm tempted because you
To play Bob along, Tom. We bob along halfway.
Well,
I know. I don't think it should be a bob along.
I don't think it's a bob because
I think
think
No.
Father Neil does come with quite a strong message, actually.
I agree.
of-
And you know
Yeah.
what? I'm quite happy to put hands up to the sky for this one because they seemed like an open door, and they were happy to put that Christmas card through the door. So actually. Thank you very much.
How many complaints do you think we're going to have in this morning?
We've already had one message. We're going to take a moment. Thank you so much,
dearie me.
Anna. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You're back on Sunday.
We're back on Sunday with a 2-hour special.
Excellent.
We're going to be talking about the baby Jesus.
Baby Jesus. Thank you so much. We're going to actually put a song on because between the pub quiz and confessions, it's been a doozy. Thank you very much. It is your Tom and Alf Breakfast Show with O.C. Davis coming up to 8:30. Unscrambled letters coming up next.
Do you work in the public sector? Experience amazing savings.